Special Agent Rommel, if you look at that screen behind you, I've now published State's Exhibit 637. What do we see in this image?
That is the upside-down chair that I spoke of with the glove propped up on the leg.
Were you able to determine or consider why those gloves were propped up in that nature?
I believe they were being dried, or they already had pretty much were dry, but they had been up there for the drying process.
Did you smell anything as you were studying those gloves?
I could smell bleach on those gloves.
Moving on to State's Exhibit 638, what observations did you make as you started observing these gloves closer?
So at the scene, I had observed blood print that were like little pinpoints on the RJR vehicle, as well as in RJR in going into a room that had a restroom.
Your Honor, the witness has already testified to the fact that he was at the RJR crime scene and he was a part of the processing, so he is now testifying to what observations he personally made to these gloves in connection to what he personally observed on scene. You can continue.
So the backside of these gloves had material that I believe would leave that type of imprint if they were saturated with blood. Obviously, at this point in time, when they're on this, I don't see any blood, but I believe they've been in bleach due to the white material and the smell of bleach on them. So those were a couple of the things I noticed. The other thing is the orange. There's an orange. You can kind of see the tip of the thumb. It's kind of an orange color that extends back into the web or the thumb on the backside of the glove. There's also a strap that goes over near the wrist, which leaves an open space on the hand. Those particular, when I say that, in the video, I believe I see that orange as he's walking through the scene. You can see the orange, and you can also see the opening in the back of the hand, along with the little dots that that material would leave if it was saturated in blood.
Those little dots on the glove, you know, it's like flashback for me. First big trial I covered on Court T, Dr. Dirk Greinader wearing gloves with those little dimples, and he had a pair of glasses around his neck in a photo, and there were little dimpled blood prints on those glasses. He got convicted. So I mean, jurors, I think, love this kind of evidence. Let's bring in Court TV legal correspondent Chanley Painter, who's in Mandan, North Dakota, and is joining us live tonight. I always sent you down to North Carolina, a little bit warmer down there. Chanley, let's talk about the evidence, because this is so important, this part of the trial for prosecutors trying to do everything they can to link this defendant to the crime.
They really are, and they're going through his home in detail, his workplace, the chiropractic office in Washburn, North Dakota, and his truck, detailing what they found, showing it to this jury. So at the home of Chad Isaak, in addition to the gloves that you just shared, something else stood out to me today, Vinny. One of the investigators found an odd-looking sock in the closet of one of the bedrooms in his home. Well, they open up the sock, and it has 9 shell casings, exactly 9 shell casings in this plastic bag inside a sock there on top of the shelf in the closet. Well, the testimony was that there's 9 wounds or bullets in the victims of the bodies found at the crime scene, so they're trying to make this connection between these shell casings and the crime scene. The detective saying he was sure that those were the shell casings from the revolver used in the crime. Now, let's go on to the workplace. They also told this jury about what they found in the workplace, the chiropractic office. There was some shell casings and bullets, live rounds in a microwave in the break room of the chiropractic office, but also they found 16 pairs of identical black shoes, all the same size, in his office. The investigator on the stand said it was similar to the ones that is seen in surveillance video at the crime scene. They matched the ones found in the dryer. They're trying to connect all these shoes to the same person. There was even a shoe comparison print expert on the stand today who said that these shoes could be the ones that made a print in blood at the crime scene, Vinny. But also the truck of the defendant, that was searched, and the jury is learning that there was some orange fibers in the truck, some blood. They don't know the results of that blood just yet, but also a business card inside his truck for Robert Faulkner at RJR. It's all tying together and adding up against that defendant in the courtroom.
Oh, yeah, I could see it. Except the shoes. 16 pairs of shoes? What? Is he related to Imelda Marcos? What is going on here?
Vinny, I don't know, but these are Walmart shoes. According to the testimony today, these are $19.99 at Walmart, and the testimony is odd as to why he would have 16 pairs of identical shoes. But Allison Reese, the footprint specialist who was on the stand this afternoon, says that these type of particular shoes all had the same class characteristics, the physical size and the tread pattern of a print found at the crime scene. And apparently he wears these shoes without shoelaces because there's no shoelaces found in the actual shoes that were found in his dryer that had just been cleaned with bleach, according to the prosecution witnesses.
Okay, maybe it was a buy one, get 15 free. I don't know, maybe a sale. It's crazy, but the forensic match is significant. And you know what? Come to think of it, I find a pair of shoes that I like. I'll buy several pairs of them, not 16, but guys are like that. We find something we like and we'll just stick with it over and over and over again. All right. So where are we in the trial right now?
We are still trucking along for the prosecution's case in chief. They expect a couple of more days of full testimony, and they're starting to tell the story about the results of testing in this case. So we're going to start to hear from those experts after a couple more BCI agents, those experts from the crime lab that tested the blood found in the trunk and in the trunk of the RJR truck of the Cobbs and the defendant's truck, Vinny, but also those orange fibers found in the defendant's truck in his home. Those will be microscopically tested. The jury's going to learn the results of that. So again, still trying to tie this crime to the man in the courtroom. We also expect the defense to put on a case next week in this trial.
All right, Chanley Painter in North Dakota tonight. Thank you. Let's bring in our think tank. Joining us in Atlanta, Georgia, Eklund Mercy. She is a criminal defense attorney. In Houston, Texas, criminal defense attorney Brian Weiss. And in San Diego, California, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Brian Watkins. And, of course, you can contact him at brianwatkinslaw.com. All right. Eklund Mercy, who bleaches their gloves? I don't. That's ridiculous to bleach your gloves. That is just absurd. Nobody does it. How persuasive do you find the gloves drying out after being bleached with the little dimples that were consistent with the blood dimple prints at the scene of the crime?
I don't know. I think that if it was in a vacuum, I could understand it. But just the fact that it started off with, hey, my chiropractor has the same van. So I mean, my chiropractor has the same truck. So just off how it got to his house gives me pause. So I can't even really address the bleach. I don't understand how they just didn't investigate anybody else.
Okay, well, all I'm saying is if you're bleaching your gloves at home, I would send all your stuff to the dry cleaners.
Well,
you don't bleach gloves. There's no reason to do it. There's no reason to bleach your gloves.
If you want to keep them, what if you were cleaning with the bleach? I mean, what if you were cleaning with the gloves and they happen to have bleach on them? Okay. I'm protecting my hands from the bleach.
All right. The bleach will tear through the material that protects you. Anyway, all right. Brian Weiss, I want you to take a listen to Arnie Rummel testifying here about some other things that were found during the search.
I was there when Agent Smith was taking the hunter orange sweatshirt or a hoodie or hooded sweatshirt out of the wash machine. There was the mask that was camouflage on one side and hunter orange on the other. It was reversible, I guess you would call it. And then there were other dark clothing that were in the same proximity with this, they're in the dryer with the blaze orange or hunter orange clothing that I think were all pieces of this crime.
You specifically mentioned the mask that was found in the dryer. When you were able to see that reversible mask at the defendant's residence, did you start making comparisons to what you observed the suspect wearing in video surveillance?
Yes, I did.
What similarities were you able to note between the two?
I call it the automatic one was that it was orange on one side and camouflage on the other. The cutout was the same, so those were all things that, to me, indicated that it was the same as the one that we saw in the videos.
You also mentioned the orange hoodie. When you found the orange hoodie, or were able to observe the orange hoodie found in the defendant's dryer, did you visually compare it to what you saw the suspect wearing on video surveillance?
Yes.
What comparisons were you able to make between those two items?
That it was obviously orange. It had a hood on it. Seemed to be large. So those are just some of the ones that were obvious to me at that time.
Brian Weiss, they putting the pieces together here for you?
They absolutely are. Listen, Vinny, you've heard me say it before, all the way back when you and I did Court TV all those many years ago, that I've learned a whole lot more from popular culture than those dusty law books I had to read at the University of Houston. And remember, in Goldfinger tells James Bond, we have a saying in Chicago, Mr. Bond, once is happenstance, twice coincidence, but the third time it's enemy action. We're now beyond the third or fourth or fifth time. At some point, the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle begin to fit together. I want to tell you, one of the things that maybe nobody really heard early on in the first package was the number 637, as in states exhibits. That tells me that these prosecutors are building a case from the bottom up. And much like the frog that doesn't quite realize he's being boiled as they slowly turn up the water on the stove, this defendant's finding himself in that position a whole lot more quickly than maybe he ever thought.
I think that orange sweatshirt is the same color as Brian Watkins' tie tonight, or am I seeing things? Almost. Hey, Brian Watkins, I've got another piece of evidence for you. This one, I think, is really bad for the defendant. Let's take a listen.
Looking at the dates, was there anything to note in this photo?
Just the absence of appointments on April 1st, on the morning of April 1st.
And moving on to State's Exhibit 714, is there anything that grabbed your attention in this photo?
Again, absence of appointments on the morning of Monday, March 25th, as well as there's a note on Friday, March 29th at 4, looks like 4 to 4:30 that mentions RJR.
Let's start with the March 25th date. Why was that to note to you based off your training experience and involvement in this case?
Because we know that there was a reconnaissance of RGR done on the morning of March 25th based on video that we had recovered and watched.
Now looking more closely at that Friday time slot from what you testified was roughly around 4:30 to 4:45, what does that notation say?
It says, I believe it says stay RGR me.
And is there a line in that notation linking it to a specific time slot?
Yes, to that circled time slot.
And what was that time slot?
I think it is 4:30 to 5 o'clock.
Based off of your training experience, did you find that significant?
I mean, it's later in the evening on a Friday, but it was obviously was important enough for someone to document that.
All right, Brian Watkins, the 2 days when the killer is there, right? A week before the killing and the morning of the killing, no appointments for Dr. Isaak, the chiropractor, and he's writing RJR. RJR, that's where the attack was.
Let me tell you what the prosecution is doing right here. What the prosecution is doing is putting the ball in the defense's court, and it's making the defense have to explain everything. Now, everything may be able to be explained. You know, maybe he was cleaning something, you know, that required bleach, and that's why he was using the gloves. And only he can explain his date book and his calendar and why April 1st doesn't have anything in it and March 22nd doesn't have anything in it, and why he drew that line. If he can explain all that stuff away, then the prosecution doesn't have a case. But the key is that he now has to take the stand and explain that stuff, because it can't just be left out there looking suspicious as it does. He has to explain it. He's the only one that can explain it, what he was writing in his date book. There is no officer training and experience that understands other people's calendars and date books, but it does look really bad. And now the ball is in the defense's court to explain that stuff away.
Yeah, and the only advice I'd have for the prosecutor is don't ask him to try on those bleached gloves. Don't do it.